Hey, you doing everybody? Greetings and welcome back to 8-Bit's Basement Gaming Base, where we're celebrating a belated May the 4th, because May the 4th be with you, always, as Obi-Wan Kenobi maybe might have said. But what I'm looking at today are two things. If you've seen the previous video, it was on the Empire Strikes Back for the Atari 2600. And because just last May the 4th, which is only a few days ago when this video was made, a new modern version of that very game was released for the Commodore 64. So that's what we're going to look at right now in this video. Now what I have on screen here is the little file that gives the instructions on how to play it. So it shows you pretty much how to play and what to expect in the game, more or less. Now this is a game that I really wanted to have when I was younger for the Atari 2600, but I could never have. And when I learned of this game's coming out, I said, well, I got to make a video on these damn things. So we're going to look at this one right now. So if you want to get a taste, a flavor for the differences between the Atari 2600, the original version, also came out for the Intellivision, which I don't have, and this new Commodore 64 updated version, then if you haven't done so already, take a look at the previous video where I take a look at the 2600 version. Now I'm just waffling, but anyway, these are the three guys who have made this game. We've got Roy Whidding, who did the music for the SID chip here. We have got Chris Stanley here in the middle, who did the programming, and we've also got Rune Spans, who did all the graphics. And I think you'll find the game is an absolute marvel for a modern 8-bit system. That's like 40 years old at this stage, you know. But a modern game for an old 8-bit system is what I mean to say. Anyway, I'm waffling now. Let's take a look at this game, eh? Okay, well, I think the first thing that you can say about this game straight out of the box is that graphically and musically it's an absolute treat to both the eyes and ears. You can see here straight away some of the little machinery that we're going to be having to battle against here. So there's a huge difference between the 2600 version and this new version. Stage 1, Scouts from the West. Okay, so the gameplay is pretty much identical to what we were looking at on the Atari 2600, but the difference you see here is that we've got these little chicken walkers, or these little scout walkers as they were known back in the movie. They're also ATST walkers, I believe. But these guys take 20 hits to defeat, but you see that the screen layout is pretty much exactly the same as it was in the Atari 2600 version. The difference, of course, being the graphics are far superior, but we've still got the same kind of radar here at the bottom with this little box here showing the screen we're looking at, and we've got our mountains in the background, we've got our plateau here, and we've got our sky. But there's a lot of parallax scrolling going on here that was not happening in the Atari version. But again, it wouldn't be fair to say that it's better than the Atari version that way, because gameplay wise they're both pretty much exactly the same. Graphically it's much more of a treat for the eyes, that's for sure. But these levels are different as well. For once, what we have now is we have levels, which we never had before. And this game is composed of 8 levels. So the first level here is more kind of a training level, I suppose, than anything else. But we've got 3 of these little ATSTs that we've got to defeat. And then we'll move on to level 2. Now, like I say, these guys take about 20 hits before they're defeated. And if we can manage to not get hit by anything for a minute, we will get the force for about 15 seconds. And what the force is in this game is invincibility or invulnerability. So that's a little difference between that and the 2600 version, you see that guy flying across? We've got a little between stages type thing. The Atari 2600 version had the same with the force and all that, but the difference was you couldn't get hit for about 2 minutes, and then you would have invulnerability for about 20 seconds. So here we go, we've got stage 2, approaching thunder, and I take it that's in reference to these AT-ATs that are attacking us. Now you remember, in the original version, what we were looking at was the more damage that happened to one of these AT-ATs, it changed color. Well, you see in this version what actually happens is the damage is graphically represented by cracks and fissures appearing in the actual armor of the AT-AT itself. So these guys take 30 to 50 shots. You see here we've got a bit of damage here on them, and the more I shoot, the greater that damage becomes. Up here on top, actually, I've neglected to say, we've got a number of ships that I have left. And we've also got my life bar for the ship that I'm currently flying. Here you'll see over at the end of the screen is Echo Base. This is the base here we're trying to protect. And it's represented here, its damage as well, because if one of those AT-ATs gets to the end, it'll start firing on the base, and it's game over when the base is destroyed. But there's a nice little animation for when these guys get destroyed as well. You'll see the head explodes, and then the rest of the whole system explodes, I suppose. But the one thing it is missing, was missing in the Atari 2600 as well, but I suppose you can't really fault it, is that you can't actually shoot a little string and tie up their legs. You can fly around their legs there, but you can't actually, you know, shoot a string like they did in the movie. But hey, that'd be asking for a bit much. This is, of course, a recreation of the original version. So what they've done is they've retained the best, but they've only added a few little bits that improve on the gameplay, but don't actually change the gameplay at all. Now for a change, we've got 8 levels, and once we complete the 8 levels, we've actually completed the game. Whereas the other way, we just kept going until either we were dead or the base was destroyed. So it was really a no-win situation before, whereas now there's actually something that we have to try to achieve. Here we go, we got our second stage cleared. So it's a nice little game in that it's easy enough to get up to about level 4 or 5, but then after that it kind of cranks up the difficulty a little bit. But no, this is a nice game. I like this one. So here we are. This time we've got these little chicken walkers again. We've got a mix actually of these little chicken walkery guys, and we've also got the AT-ATs that'll be attacking us. But yeah, like I say, this is the gameplay on this game. We're working our way through. We're protecting the base by destroying everything that's coming at us. But there's nothing new gets added on each time. You know, it's the same. You start off with 5 walkers here. There's 5 walkers for the duration, and that's pretty much it. You know, it's the other versions, they kept on adding and adding and adding, because that was the very nature of the game. But there you go. Anyway, this is this game. They've also thrown in a few little probe droids as well. And there you go, guys. It's available as a free download. I'll put a link in the description as to where you can get it. Try it out on an emulator or on your real Commodore 64. They've got all the versions there. Taped version, program version that'll run on pretty much anything, and also the D64 version. So enjoy. You can also give a little donation to charity as well if you so wish for it. So look, until the next episode, we will talk to you very soon. Well, no, until the next episode, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you then. See ya. Bye bye. Oh, may the force be with you.